for how we broke up, for how it all went down. I want to apologize for being angry about it.
Kody Brown sat across from Christine in that Las Vegas restaurant, cameras rolling, and delivered what might be the most painfully transparent performance of his entire television career. He called it an apology. Viewers called it something else entirely, because what unfolded in that cringeworthy scene was not a man seeking genuine reconciliation. It was a masterclass in manipulation disguised as remorse, and Christine saw right through it from the very first sentence. The words tumbled out of Kody's mouth with practiced precision. He wanted to apologize for how they broke up. He wanted to apologize for being angry about it. He wanted to apologize for the struggles Christine endured during their marriage. And then came the moment that revealed everything.
My best guess is that Christine's gotten over it and moving on very happily. And/or David has said, hey, baby, you ought to talk to that ex of yours and maybe get some healing.
Kody looked at his ex-wife and actually said that if he apologized, she could get in that space where she feels like she is healing. Let that sink in for a moment. This man genuinely believes that his words are the key that unlocks Christine's emotional recovery. As if she has been sitting around for years, frozen in time, waiting for Kody Brown to grant her permission to move forward with her life. Christine's response was immediate and devastating in its simplicity. She told him that was a weird thing to say. She reminded him that she has a husband sitting right there beside her. And in that single moment, the entire facade crumbled. Because Christine does not need Kody's blessing. She does not require his apology to heal. She already healed herself, thank you very much. And she did it without him. The audacity of Kody's approach cannot be overstated. Here is a man who spent years publicly declaring that he never loved Christine. He told the world that his marriages to the original 3 wives were mistakes. He dismissed decades of partnership and parenthood with casual cruelty that left viewers gasping. And now he wants credit for showing up with carefully rehearsed words of contrition. But the delivery exposed everything.
Why do you want to meet together?
I wanted to apologize with all my heart. For how we broke up, for how it all went down. I want to apologize for being angry about it. I want to apologize for the struggles.
Kody was not focused on Christine's pain. He was focused on his own redemption story. Sources close to the situation suggest that this entire apology tour was triggered by the sale of the Coyote Pass property. The lingering tension from that transaction apparently made Kody uncomfortable, so he decided it was time to clear the air. Not for his ex-wives, for himself. He admitted as much when he described the whole thing as one of his chores. He actually used that word, chores, as if apologizing to a woman he was married to for over 25 years ranks somewhere between taking out the garbage and mowing the lawn. Christine sat there looking absolutely stunning in what fans immediately recognized as a revenge look. She did not dress up for Kody, she dressed up for herself and for the cameras that would broadcast this moment to millions. And beside her sat David Woolley, the man who actually treats her like she deserves to be treated. But this awkward apology was only the opening act, because David was about to say something that would shake Kody to his core. David Woolley had been sitting quietly through Kody's rehearsed performance, watching his wife's ex-husband fumble through apologies that rang hollow with every syllable. But David is not the kind of man who stays silent when something needs to be said. And what he said next cut straight through all of Kody's carefully constructed narrative and exposed the gaping hole at the center of this entire apology tour. Start with your kids. 4 words. That is all it took to completely dismantle Kody's redemption fantasy. Because here was this man traveling across state lines to apologize to ex-wives who have already moved on with their lives, while his own children remain estranged and hurting. David saw the absurdity immediately. You cannot claim to be making amends when you are ignoring the people who need it most. Your children. The ones who did not choose this family. The ones who watched their father prioritize one wife over all others. The ones who are still waiting for him to show up.
I want you to be able to heal. And healing can maybe happen. I can't tell you how it's going to happen or what. But I just feel like if I apologize, you can get in that space where you feel like you're healing.
David did not stop there. He looked Kody dead in the eyes and told him that he knew damn well he loved Christine because he would not have married her and had all those kids if he did not love her. It was a direct challenge to years of Kody's revisionist history. All those confessionals where Kody claimed he was never in love with his first 3 wives. All those cruel statements that seemed designed to hurt and diminish. David called it out for exactly what it was. Nonsense. The tension in that restaurant was palpable. Kody tried to smooth things over with an awkward joke, telling Christine that if he had not messed things up, she would not have what she has now with David. He even turned to David and said that later he might want to punch him, but right now he probably still appreciates it. The audacity of taking credit for Christine's happiness because his failure led her to find someone better. Only Kody Brown could turn his own shortcomings into a twisted compliment to himself. David remained remarkably composed throughout the exchange. He told Kody that when he talks to Christine about him, he sees it from a guy's point of view. He gets where Kody is coming from in a lot of ways. It was gracious, perhaps more gracious than Kody deserved. But underneath that calm exterior, David had already made his position crystal clear. Fix your relationships with your children before you come around looking for forgiveness from anyone else. Christine later revealed that she almost said no to this meeting entirely. She does not trust anything that comes out of Kody's mouth. The only reason she agreed was because David would be there. If Kody started being mean or aggressive, David would not allow that. She needed protection from her own ex-husband. Let that reality settle in for a moment. And yet somehow Kody seemed completely unbothered by any of this. He just kept talking, kept performing, kept making everything about himself. The timing of Kody's sudden urge to make amends tells you everything you need to know about his true motivations. This was not a man who woke up one morning overwhelmed by genuine remorse for years of emotional neglect. This was a calculated move, and the trigger was painfully obvious to anyone paying attention.
Also, understand this. It's in the past.
But an apology doesn't hurt.
Apologies are nice, but I'm saying it's okay.
If I wouldn't have messed it up, then you wouldn't have what you have. Later, you might want to punch me. Right now, you probably still really appreciate it.
The sale of Coyote Pass changed everything. That sprawling piece of Arizona land represented the last tangible connection between Kody and his former wives. Once it sold, the final thread snapped, and suddenly Kody felt the need to go on what he himself described as an apology tour. Insiders suggest that the atmosphere surrounding the property sale became unbearably tense. Kody could not handle the awkwardness of being in proximity to women who had moved on without him. So instead of sitting with that discomfort and doing genuine internal work, he decided to manufacture a narrative where he becomes the hero, the reformed patriarch seeking forgiveness, the humble man admitting his mistakes. It would make great television. It would rehabilitate his image, and most importantly, it would give him back some semblance of control over a story that had completely slipped through his fingers. But here is where the facade cracks wide open. These apologies are happening on camera. They are filmed, edited, and broadcast to millions of viewers. A genuine apology happens in private. It happens without an audience. It happens when the person seeking forgiveness has nothing to gain except the repair of a broken relationship. Kody's apologies come with a paycheck. They come with screen time. They come with the opportunity to shape public perception in his favor. Reports from behind the scenes paint a very different picture than what viewers see on their televisions. Word on the street suggests that off-camera interactions between Kody and his ex-wives involve yelling, confrontation, and pressure to sign non-disclosure agreements. The public performance is all sweetness and carefully chosen words. The private reality is allegedly something else entirely. This disconnect reveals the true nature of what Kody is doing. He wants the appearance of accountability without any of the actual work. Mary saw through it immediately. In her upcoming apology scene with Kody, she delivers a devastating observation that cuts to the heart of the problem. She tells him that the more he uses the word apologize, the more insincere it feels. She recognized the pattern. Kody was not listening to what his ex-wives needed. He was performing a script he had written for himself, one where saying sorry enough times magically erases years of documented favoritism, emotional cruelty, and systematic neglect. The whole thing feels less like genuine contrition and more like a public relations strategy designed by someone who watched too many celebrity comeback specials. Kody wants redemption without transformation. He wants forgiveness without change. He wants to close this chapter of his life and move forward with his reputation intact. But his ex-wives are not playing along, and neither are the fans watching at home. Christine Brown Woolley walked into that restaurant knowing exactly what she was doing. Every detail was intentional. The outfit that fans immediately recognized as a revenge look. The decision to bring David as both support and witness. The calm demeanor that refused to give Kody the emotional reaction he was clearly hoping for. This was not a woman caught off guard by her ex-husband's sudden desire to make amends. This was a woman who had already won and knew it. She almost said no to the meeting entirely. Christine has made it abundantly clear that she does not trust anything that comes out of Kody's mouth. Years of broken promises and cruel words taught her that lesson thoroughly, but she agreed under one non-negotiable condition. David would be there. If Kody started being mean or aggressive, David would not allow that. Think about what that says about the state of their relationship. Christine needed physical and emotional protection just to sit across a table from the father of her children. When Kody launched into his poetic nonsense about their marriage being like a storm and a sunset, Christine shut it down with surgical precision. She asked him why he thought this was appropriate. She demanded to know where his wife was if he was going to say things like that to her. She reminded him that she has a husband sitting right there. It was a masterful deflection that exposed the inappropriate nature of Kody's entire approach. You do not wax romantic about past love to your ex-wife while her new husband watches. Basic social awareness should tell you that. Christine kept telling Kody that the past is in the past. She insisted that everything is okay, but this was not forgiveness, this was dismissal. She was not accepting his apology because it meant something to her. She was brushing it aside because she genuinely does not need it. Christine healed herself. She found love again. She built a new life that does not include Kody except as a co-parent to their children. His words carry no weight in her world anymore. The transformation in Christine, since leaving Kody, has been remarkable to witness. Viewers have commented that she looks years younger, her energy is lighter, her smile reaches her eyes in a way it never did during her marriage. Sources close to the situation attribute this to one simple factor. Her cortisol levels dropped dramatically once she escaped the constant stress of being Kody's third priority at best. Janelle showed up to her apology meeting with the same energy. Both women arrived looking absolutely radiant, dressed to impress, glowing with the confidence that comes from knowing your worth. They did not dress up for Kody. They dressed up for themselves and for the millions of viewers who would see them thriving while their ex-husband scrambles to rewrite history. Christine's condition for truly accepting any apology remains unchanged and unmovable. Fix your relationships with your kids first. Until then, words mean nothing. While Kody travels the country dispensing hollow apologies to ex-wives who no longer need him, his only remaining marriage appears to be falling apart at the seams. Robin Brown, the woman who supposedly won the ultimate prize by becoming Kody's sole partner, has admitted on camera that their relationship is the worst it has ever been. The favorite wife is discovering that being the only wife comes with burdens she never anticipated. And viewers are watching this slow-motion collapse with a mixture of fascination and something that almost resembles sympathy. Robin broke down emotionally when asked how she would react if the ex-wives ever came back into the family fold. She told the cameras that she cannot handle that possibility. She said she would fall apart and could not even be on set discussing it. This is a woman who once dreamed of a united plural family. Now she cannot even imagine reconciliation without experiencing visible distress. The weight of being Kody's everything has clearly taken its toll. The cracks in their foundation became impossible to ignore when Kody raised the subject of adding another wife. His reasoning was staggeringly shallow. He admitted that his primary motivation at this stage of life would be how good-looking she is. He was not kidding. Robin's response was immediate and cutting. She laughed at him and called him a pig. In her confessional, she went even further, asking if this hypothetical new woman would just be a concubine while Robin maintains the real relationship. The contempt in her voice was unmistakable. Their intimacy issues have also been broadcast for the world to see. Kody made the awkward confession that there is something he wants maybe more than Robin does. He elaborated with a bizarre observation that a polygamist gets more than he wants, while a monogamist does not get enough. He was talking about their physical relationship on national television. The discomfort radiating from these scenes is almost unbearable to watch. Robin has also admitted that she is struggling to respect her husband. Watching him refuse to repair relationships with his estranged children has eroded something fundamental in how she sees him. She told Kody directly that she was having a hard time not losing respect for him. When your own wife questions whether she can respect you anymore, the marriage is in serious trouble. The couple eventually agreed to commit to monogamy, closing the door on any future plural marriage, but this decision felt less like a romantic choice and more like resignation. They did not choose monogamy. It was forced upon them when 3 women decided they deserved better. Robin said it herself. They were in plural marriage together and then everyone just left. They are monogamous by default, not by design. Reports continue to surface suggesting that Kody retreats into dark places when upset, blaming Robin for problems that are entirely of his own making. The favorite wife is learning that winning sometimes feels an awful lot like losing. Kody can apologize to ex-wives until he runs out of breath, but the most devastating indictment of his character comes from the people who should love him unconditionally. His own children. The silence from his kids speaks louder than any carefully rehearsed apology ever could. And when they do speak, The words are brutal. Leon, Kody and Mary's only child, recently exploded on Instagram with a message that left no room for interpretation. They wrote that they had not heard from that man since their brother took his own life. Leon accused Kody of blatantly blowing them off at Garrison's funeral. They called him a liar and a joke of a father. This was not a measured statement from a child trying to preserve some relationship with a parent. This was raw fury from someone who has completely given up on the man who raised them. Kody Brown confirmed that he has not spoken to Kody since Garrison's funeral either. When asked about their last interaction, he chose his words carefully, saying it did not go the way it could have gone, but went better than it could have gone. The implications hang heavy in that statement. Something happened at that funeral. Something painful enough that Kody will not discuss it publicly. Maddie, Janelle's daughter, reportedly has not spoken to her father in 2 to 3 years. Janelle revealed that Maddie saw no reason to inform Kody about anything happening in her life because he had shown zero interest. He had not visited since she had her first child over 3 years ago. She did not even tell him about subsequent pregnancies. Why would she share major life moments with someone who cannot be bothered to show up? Kody has taken a different approach, but her message is equally clear. She considers herself a package deal with her siblings. When Kody reached out to her recently, she refused to reconcile unless he makes things right with everyone. She told him directly that he has to treat her whole family nice. He cannot just have her, he has to have all of them or none of them. Christine set her condition for accepting any apology in the simplest possible terms. When he fixes his relationships with his kids, that is when she will accept the apology, not before. Words directed at her mean nothing while her children remain hurt and ignored. She knows that genuine change would start with the most vulnerable people Kody damaged, his sons and daughters who grew up watching their father choose favorites. Kody's response to all of this has been predictably defensive. He claims his children are purposefully leaving him out of their lives to punish him for a crime he did not commit. He insists he is only guilty of not falling madly in love with their mothers. He blames trash talk and conspiracies against him. Never once does he consider that perhaps his children simply experienced his parenting firsthand and drew their own conclusions. The kids are not buying what Kody is selling, and neither should anyone else. There is a tragedy that hangs over every frame of this season, every hollow apology, every defensive confessional. Garrison Brown died in March of this year at just 25 years old. He took his own life while estranged from his father, and that devastating reality makes Kody's current apology tour feel even more grotesque than it already appeared. Kody admitted that there was so much left unsaid between him and Garrison, so much left undone. He told cameras that he cannot reconcile that his son is not here anymore. He expressed regret about not taking more time, not going to dinner more often, not sitting down to have a beer and let Garrison try to make him laugh. These are the words of a father who understands too late what he squandered. But understanding does not undo the damage. Understanding does not bring Garrison back. The estrangement between Kody and his sons Garrison and Gabriel became a recurring storyline across multiple seasons. Kody's strict protocols during the pandemic created fractures that never healed. He wanted his boys to apologize to him and especially to Robin for perceived disrespect. He prioritized his own wounded pride over maintaining relationships with his children. Janelle found herself caught in the middle, refusing to kick her sons out of her home despite Kody's demands. She chose her children over her husband, and eventually she chose herself over the marriage entirely. Garrison spoke about the estrangement before his death. He said that he and Gabriel had reached out and tried to be open, but their efforts were neglected and overlooked. He talked about buying a house, getting into school, purchasing the car his father told him he should never get. Major life milestones that Kody missed because he could not let go of his anger. Garrison said his father did not care to know anything about his life. Now Janelle has been named executor of Garrison's estate. Kody was notably left out of decisions regarding the home sale and financial affairs. The family's lack of trust in him extends beyond emotional matters into practical ones. They do not believe he deserves involvement even in death. The bitter irony of Kody's apology tour cannot be overstated. He is traveling to meet with ex-wives who have moved on and built beautiful new lives. He is seeking forgiveness from women who no longer need anything from him. Meanwhile, he never got the chance to reconcile with his own son. That opportunity is gone forever. No amount of filmed apologies can change that reality. Kody says the wave of grief from losing a child is different from any grief he has ever experienced. He calls it irreconcilable. The future they miss together haunts him, but one has to wonder if this grief will translate into changed behavior with his remaining children. History suggests otherwise. History suggests Kody will continue blaming everyone but himself while more relationships wither and die. Garrison deserved better. All of Kody's children deserved better, and they still do. While Kody spirals through his performative redemption arc, his other two ex-wives are quietly writing the next chapters of their lives, and those chapters do not include him as anything more than a footnote. Janelle and Mary have both emerged from the wreckage of their plural marriage with something Kody cannot seem to find: genuine peace. Janelle's reaction to Kody's apology surprised viewers who expected fireworks. She was gracious, almost too gracious. When Kody admitted that saying he never loved her was a lie born from pain and anger, Janelle simply nodded. She told him she knew. She always knew he loved her. But that knowing did not translate into wanting him back. Janelle is pursuing a spiritual divorce to officially sever the religious bonds of their nearly 30-year marriage. She wants closure on her terms, not his. Her life now revolves around her children and grandchildren. She relocated to North Carolina to be closer to family. She has hinted at dating possibilities, with rumors swirling about potential new romance. The woman who spent decades managing Kody's complicated household is finally free to manage only her own happiness. And happiness looks good on her. Viewers have noticed the same transformation in Janelle that they spotted in Christine: lighter energy, brighter smile, the visible relief of someone who escaped a situation that was slowly suffocating her. Murray's journey has been rockier but equally compelling. She introduced viewers to Ron, a man she met at a speed dating event earlier this season. Unlike Kody, Ron actually shows up. When Murray invited him to a fundraising event with her friends, he immediately asked what he could do to help. He pitched in, he engaged, he made an effort to fit into her world rather than demanding she revolve around his. Mary told cameras that watching Ron interact with her friends mattered deeply to her. She wanted to see if he fit, and according to her assessment, he does. Her best friend Jen gave Ron the stamp of approval, noting that she thought they would get along well from their very first meeting. Ron himself gushed about Mary being genuine and easy to talk to. The contrast with how Kody treated her for decades could not be more stark. When it comes to Kody's apology, Mary delivered the most cutting analysis of anyone. She told him directly that the more he uses the word apologize, the more insincere it feels. She recognized the performance for what it was. His energy messes with her energy, she explained. After 32 years of marriage, Mary can spot Kody's manipulation tactics from a mile away. Both women have made clear that whatever Kody is selling, they are not buying. They did the work of healing themselves. They rebuilt their lives from the ground up. They found new sources of joy that have nothing to do with the man who neglected them for years. Kody's apologies arrive far too late to matter. These women already saved themselves. Behind all the emotional drama and hollow apologies lies a financial reality that exposes the true nature of how Kody ran his plural family. Money tells the story that words try to hide, and the financial wreckage left in the wake of the Brown family collapse reveals patterns of favoritism that make Kody's claims of equal treatment laughable. The sale of Coyote Pass became the final battleground. That sprawling piece of Arizona land represented the family's shared dream of building a compound where everyone could live together. Instead, it became a symbol of everything that went wrong. When the property finally sold, Janelle and Mary walked away with their portions. Christine had already signed over her share in exchange for keeping the proceeds from selling her Arizona home. The transaction was complicated by years of resentment and broken promises. Janelle made a pointed observation about the whole situation. She joked that it was a nice way to say, "See you later, hope I never see you again, goodbye." But she also admitted something more serious. If she had been legally married to Kody, she absolutely would have taken half of his assets, because it would have been half hers. The spiritual marriage that once felt sacred now feels like a legal loophole that protected Kody from real consequences. Meanwhile, reports surfaced that Christine sued Kody for child support regarding their teenage daughter, Truly. Sources suggest he may owe as much as $100,000 in back support. The man who positioned himself as the patriarch, the provider, the head of the family, allegedly failed to financially support his own child after the divorce. Christine had to take legal action to secure what her daughter deserved. The disparity in how Kody treated his wives financially became impossible to ignore. Robyn lives in a home worth over $2 million. She had the fanciest wedding, she received the most attention, the most resources, the most everything. Christine described feeling like she was left with scraps all the time. Scraps of time, scraps of stuff. She watched Robyn get better furniture, better dishes, better decorations while her own household made do with less. Questions persist about loans that Janelle and Mary reportedly made to Robyn and Kody years ago. Whether those debts will ever be repaid remains unclear. The financial entanglements of plural marriage create complications that most divorces never face. When you share a husband but not legal protections, walking away often means walking away with less than you contributed. Kody admitted that putting Robin in her expensive Flagstaff home stirred up jealousy among his other wives. He acknowledged that they could not handle how much he was willing to fight to make sure Robin was safely kept. The confession was stunning in its lack of self-awareness. He saw the problem, he understood the disparity created resentment, and he did it anyway. The financial records tell a story of one wife prioritized above all others. Numbers do not lie, even when Kody does. What began as a television experiment to show America that polygamy could work has ended in spectacular collapse. The Brown family legacy lies in ruins, scattered across multiple states and fractured beyond repair. And at the center of the wreckage stands Kody Brown, still convinced that everyone else is the problem. His apology tour has not changed that fundamental truth. If anything, it has confirmed what viewers suspected all along. This is a man incapable of genuine accountability. Fan reactions to the apology scenes have been merciless. Reddit threads overflow with viewers calling the whole thing bad acting and transparent manipulation. Many pointed out that Kody seems motivated primarily by his paycheck rather than any real desire for reconciliation. One popular comment suggested he must be making amends for some kind of program. Then another user fired back that his only program involves getting paid. The audience sees through the performance. They recognize the patterns. They remember every cruel confessional and dismissive comment from seasons past. The contrast between Kody's current situation and his ex-wives' lives could not be more dramatic. Christine glows with happiness beside David Woolley. Janelle has found peace near her children and grandchildren. Mary is dating again and rediscovering what it feels like to be genuinely appreciated. All three women are thriving in ways they never could while married to Kody. The man who once controlled their schedules, their finances, and their emotional lives now watches from the sidelines as they flourish without him. Robin remains by his side, but even that relationship shows cracks. She has lost respect for him. She called him a pig on national television. Their marriage survives not because it is strong, but because neither has anywhere else to go. They are bonded by circumstance rather than choice. The favorite wife discovered that being chosen comes with a price she never anticipated paying. Season 21 has already been confirmed, promising more drama and dysfunction from whatever remains of this family. Reports suggest that Coyote will reveal a significant personal development that adds another layer to the ongoing saga. The cameras keep rolling, the checks keep clearing, and Kody keeps performing his version of reality while everyone around him tells a different story. The children remain estranged. The ex-wives remain unimpressed. The apologies remain hollow. Nothing Kody has done this season suggests genuine transformation. He still centers himself in every narrative. He still blames others for his failures. He still believes that saying sorry should be enough without any corresponding change in behavior. Sister Wives set out to prove that love could be multiplied without being divided. Instead, it documented one man's systematic destruction of 4 marriages and countless family relationships. The collapse accelerates with every episode, and Kody Brown still cannot see that he is the common denominator in every failure. So what do you think? Has Kody's apology tour changed your opinion of him, or do you see right through the performance? Drop your thoughts below. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned. The next video is waiting, and you will not want to miss what is coming next.